Morning everyone. Sounds like someone's getting some trees cut down or building a roof or something. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, it's chainsaw or something going. It's going to be a warm one today. I've got the aircon on, but it is early in the morning, so it is pretty cool. That's why I'm out here doing what we're doing. It's not even spinning. Yeah. So I just wanted to check that baffle or deflector thing that I made for it. But yeah, it's not, the aircon's not even spinning. It's on, but it's not spinning. So what we're going to do today is, I was talking about it before, but I actually do need it. So that's the plug for the new fridge. That's the only thing it came with, so it can only run on 12 volt on your cigarette lighter. So what I want to do is make up another plug. I've got a female cigarette lighter plug here that'll connect to this power pack, which will then plug into house power. 12 volt, 4 amps, so that's plenty of juice for it. I think it's 3. I will look it up though. I'll put a screenshot in of the specs. I better make sure, but it's no more than 3.5 amps. So yeah, really good. I had the fridge on yesterday. We only bought it yesterday. I had some drinks in there, and I had it on 0 degrees. After a while, I changed it to 0, and the drinks are at 1.9. And I ended up turning the fridge off when my missus got home. She actually got home late, so it was after 5 o'clock, and the battery was still at 77%. So, and had been on since 10:30 in the morning till just after 5, and yeah, only lost 23%. So that's pretty cool. Really good actually. And that was from a hot fridge. I was saying in that video the best way to do it is to hook it up to house power, cool the fridge right down, and do it from the day before. Don't do it from the morning or a couple hours before. Do it overnight. Get all your food in there, run it off your house power, and then connect it to the battery when you put it in the car, and the fridge and all the food in it is at temperature. That's the most efficient way to run it. And also on the fridge, put it down to -2 or something like that. So that way you get the stuff really cold, and then when you put it in the car, bump it up to 2 degrees or 3 degrees or whatever, and then all that stuff, the battery, you know, the fridge won't even kick on for an hour or so in the car, because it's already colder than what your program temperature is. Yeah, so yeah, don't go from the day before, put everything in and put it at 4 degrees, if you know what I mean, running off power, and then put it in the car at 4 degrees. Yeah, make it -2 or something like that. It probably won't freeze, but it might, but that's cool. It'll stay cooler, as long as you don't have beers or Coke or anything in there that's going to pop. But if you got butter or chicken or whatever, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit frozen. It'll defrost on its way, and it'll save your battery massive. So a really cool fridge. It's not very loud, so you could easily have it in the cabin with you while you're driving. It's not loud. I found some of this. Jocko asked if I can show you how to put that on. It's not hard. It's not hard, but it is frustrating. So I'll show you that. I'll probably just do my airline or something like that if it's a similar size. Yeah. So I can show you that now. Actually, this is going to be like worst case scenario a little bit, because you kind of need an end free, if you know what I mean. And the shorter the length of this green stuff, the easier it is to put on. When I was doing it, I had 10 meters. I could have cut it, but I didn't know if I had enough, so I didn't want to go cutting it. But you literally just snap it on like that, and then just, yeah, this is not a good, this is not how long it took me to do those other lines. This line's short, sorry, it's not as wide as the hydraulic lines, so it moves really easy. And it's shiny and hard, whereas the hydraulic lines weren't like this. They were a bit more grippy. Yeah, but what I was doing, I was going like this. I had to go like that. Yeah, you'll get to a certain point, you know, and because it doesn't have a long lead on it or tail, it doesn't get tangled. But yeah, but otherwise you can just wind it on. If you're lucky enough to have this shiny stuff, but that's all it is. And then it just, you know, goes along, and if you scratch it, you're scratching this before you stuff your hose up. But yeah, easy, and it comes off easy. So really good stuff. I wouldn't have done it like if it was just a normal hydraulic hose that you don't really use a lot or whatever. But I mean, that hose is on the ground all the time, and you're walking over it when you're working on the car and everything. So definitely worth it. And also doing this project is going to let us use the new soldering iron. So I've changed the tip on it, so it comes with a conical tip and a flat tip. So I've got the flat tip on there at the moment, but then I found a whole heap of tips that I bought for this Heiko. I like the chisel tip better, and that's the oh no, so that's the conical tip that it came with that I tested yesterday, and then it's got a flat tip that I haven't even used. But I want to get a conical tip that are the same one, and they fit, which is really good. Is where I was going with that story. Sorry, it's a bit early in the morning and I haven't quite woken up yet. But yeah, here we go. So I think, yep, close enough. So that way both my soldering irons have the same tip. So that's off a Heiko, and you literally undo that. Take ToolPro tip. You can see here they're very similar. Very similar. Yeah, almost identical actually, apart from the length of the tip, but that changes with every tip. So it's, yeah, you just boom, straight on, put that back on, and you're done. Make sure you haven't cross-threaded it. And then another thing is clocking, especially with a chisel tip, is very important. Just make sure that it's facing the right way, because otherwise when you pick it up and the chisel's upside down, it's a bit awkward. So yeah, I like the chisel tip just because you got the flat for doing bigger stuff, and then if you want to, you can turn it 180 and you've got the point for doing. So it's just a versatile tip. I find putting the conical the chisel, you change tips less rather than going from a flat tip to a pointed tip. It's, you know, good enough all rounder. I haven't turned that on, nothing, so you can see I'm touching that. I could put my tongue on that. That is like room temp. So we'll give it another test today on heat up time with that tip in there. We'll put these away because they're just going to get in the way. And then I've got everything, I think, sorted. So I've got, so I couldn't find a female cigarette lighter plug. So what I was going to do was cut this wire and put XT90 connectors on, and then do some fancy stuff. But anyway, I don't need to do that now, so I'm pretty sure we won't need that, but we will need these 3 bits of heat shrink. I've got everything stripped. I haven't found out which side is positive and negative just yet, so I've got the multimeter to do that. We'll do that. I'll do it on camera. This I used to rip up some cardboard. Awesome little bit of, yeah, really cool. I can see myself using that. I'll probably go for that. Obviously cutting wires like this, I'm going to use pliers, but yeah, sometimes you try and cut stuff with pliers that you shouldn't be cutting with pliers. This is perfect. That's going to be really cool. That even big speaker wire, like I just seen some big speaker wire that I have in my little kit down there, it would be perfect to cut with that. It'll just slice right through, leave a nice edge on it. So yeah, really good. So let's find out what's positive, what's negative. We don't really need this anymore. I don't know. I bought it out because I was going to cut it up, but yeah, void warranty in under 24 hours. But anyway, so make sure nothing's touching. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to look up the specs. I'll put them up on the screen for you, and just make sure that this power adapter is good enough. Alright, no dramas. You would have seen all the specs already. I'll just get a screenshot later when I'm editing. But what I saw was 45 watts and 0.8 of an amp. So this is plenty big enough. I think this is... doesn't say how many watts it is. It says 48W, but that doesn't make sense because it does 4 amps. So anyway, we're good. Yeah, it's that was 0.8 of an amp at 13.2 volts. This is only 12 volts, so it might be 1.5 amps. Let's say it's 2 amps. We're still more than double on the thing there, so all good. So I'll turn that on. Yeah, so just make sure your ends aren't touching when you turn them on. Put this multimeter into DC mode. I should be able to see the readout. The only thing, I mean, this is not like a fluke multimeter or anything, and I know flukes are more better. If you can get some decent leads, I'm almost ready at my wit's end to change these to some really floppy silicon. It's just, you know, you move it a little bit and it moves this, and it's really annoying. So yeah, so what we want is to see the voltage, and there you go. So I fluked it, 12.3 volts, and it's positive because there's no negative number there. So if I swap them around, now you'll see what I mean. They just tangle all the time. Hang on. Yeah, it's really annoying. So I can't remember which way I was, but okay, so that's positive, so that means this lead is red. So before we go too far, I just got a little bit of tape here, and we'll put some red tape so I know that that is the positive line. We don't have to keep checking them because that's what happens. And now we'll put the positive on this side and negative on the positive side. We'll switch them, and you'll see there in the multimeter it's got a negative DC negative. I think you guys, I can kind of see it. Let me look. Yeah, you guys can see it. It's on the left hand side of the screen, negative 12.32. I'll do it again so you can kind of see. And there you go. There's no negative now. So red, so we know that's all red. And then to figure out this one, it's if you have a look inside, it has a little button right down the end. That's your positive, and then everything in this outer casing on the inside is negative. So all you have to do is switch over this, because there's no voltage here, so I'll turn this off before we start a fire. So now you just got to switch this off, put it into where it's got that little speaker symbol, I think. So if you get contact, so these aren't positive and negative now, all they are a complete circuit. So you put your positive, it doesn't matter, put your positive on one of the leads, and see I'm touching anywhere in the outer case, so that's negative, which means this line is positive. So we'll double check it. Okay, so now it's a little bit more difficult now because you got to kind of aim for that button at the end, but you can see there it's making the noise, which means it's complete circuit. And if I touch the outer ring, there's nothing, so we're good. So it's literally solder red to red now. So let's do that. We'll put this away. Alright, so there's heaps of different ways to solder. I'm not going to say my way's the best way because it probably isn't. I was never taught by anyone. I just did it myself. So most important thing is don't forget your heat shrink. So always put your heat shrink on the side that has the most amount of room. I can make more probably room on this side, so I'll do that. I used to buy red and black and blue heat shrink. I can't be bothered anymore. I just use black for everything. So yeah, doesn't matter what color, but yeah, put that on. And then on this side I've got a thicker one, like a wider diameter heat shrink. We'll just put that over both wires, and then that'll cover it when you've done both connections. So I'm not going to time this soldering iron again because I was pretty impressed with it yesterday. It was under 20 seconds. I think it was about 15, but I did play with it a little bit, so it was a little bit hotter than what it should be. It's definitely under 20 seconds. So I mean, you guys can time it on the video. I won't fast forward the video. So it's dead cold. You can see there, dead cold. The light's not on. The light would be on, even though it's off. You turn it off, that light stays on to say that even though I'm off, that tip's still going to be hot. It takes about 20 minutes for it to cool down. That's your battery indicator. Should be a full battery. I've only used it yesterday just to show you guys. That's the only time I've used it. I was reading the instructions, and there is no put it down for 30 seconds and it goes into like 100-degree or 200-degree mode, and then when you pick it up with a motion sensor it goes back to 400 very quickly. It doesn't do that. Honestly, it doesn't need it. It's lit. Like, solder what you want, turn it off, put it down, turn it back on. Within 5 seconds, it's going to be up to temperature again. It's really good. This is a cool feature. I don't know if I'd ever use it at 90, but definitely at 45. Oh, it's got, okay, yeah, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got 5 stops. So one is 180, 5 is 90, 3 is not in the middle, but oh, I suppose it is. So 3 must be 45. Yeah, so I'll probably use it at 45. We'll see how we go. But anyway, yep, stone cold. Let's go. So she's on. It's not there yet. Can't see any smoke. There it goes. Boom. So can't complain about that. So anyway, I that's 1 mil solder too. It's not the thinnest. So I always tin my wires up. I'm pretty sure I saw this goes to 430 degrees, which is 100 degrees hotter than I run my other good soldering iron there. Normally when you've got a crap soldering iron, you have to run them hotter because they don't, as soon as you touch them to a bit of wire, it sucks all the heat out and then they don't heat up quick enough. This seems to, I mean, this is not the world's thickest wire either, but that's normally why they run them hotter, is just the thermal mass. But being that the tip is the same as a Heiko, everything else inside there is the same as the Heiko. The Heiko does, I'm pretty sure this is only like a 40-watt soldering iron, but I've soldered massive stuff with that. If you've seen my other soldering iron, this is good fun to use. That's there's your tip there compared to that's a chisel tip or a flat tip and a half, but that is really good for like massive speaker wires and massive battery terminals and things like that. I don't use it very often, but when you do use it, it is good. Alright, so yeah, make sure your heat shrink's on, because otherwise you're going to have to unsolder everything. I might keep that one. I always work the wrong way around. So now that you got solder on everything, it's just, it's literally, I just maybe put a little bit more on, just to bulk it up a bit, and then boom. Hold it for a bit, don't rush it. I get all shaky when I do this, I don't know why. I think it's just because you're putting like force into. See how that just came apart. So that's what's telling me that's too hot. You can't adjust it. So it's yeah, that's how you get dry solder joints. So you do have to blow on it. That's it. Yeah, that took a long time to go back to a solid. Yeah, as soon as you blow on it, it goes. You can see the color change from really shiny, it goes a bit dull. Biggest tip is whatever you do, buy lead-free solder. If you've never soldered before, always buy like a 60-40. So that's 60 SN tin PB lead, so 60-40 lead, and it's got a resin in there to clean your wires. So really, that is the only soldering we need to do. So that goes off, goes back to straight, and you can literally just leave it on the ground like that, because the tip can't touch anything. So that's really cool. Whereas this, if you just left it like that, you know, it's not far off something. But I mean, it does come with the proper thing. So I always just give them a clean before the solder goes hard, and that way you're good to go next time. If you don't clean them and let them gunk up, especially if you leave this thing running for a long, I've left this running overnight, I forgot to turn it off, and you come back and the tip's cooked, it's no good. It's just been boiling the solder on there for hours, so yeah, no good. So you don't want to do that. That's it. So we got red. We're going to check everything again, and then we'll heat shrink it. So we'll go back over to the other side here. So, yeah, the only thing we want to check now is the voltage at the cigarette lighter. it should be 12 volt, and it should be positive 12 volt, not negative 12 volt. So I'll just put the heat shrink just loosely there, just so they don't short out and touch each other when I turn it on. I haven't turned it on yet. Plug that in, make sure nothing's touching, all good. And then, because we're going to have to play with this a bit, another thing you can do is just probably want to use something that's plastic and put it either side of your solder, so now even if they're open, they can't touch. Okay, so I'm going to try and put that one right in that bung hole right down the end there, and then it helps if you turn it on, see if you guys can see it there. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah, like that. Yep, you guys can see that. So I've got the red on the button down the end, which is the positive, and try and this is going to be difficult. There, oh, it just flashed up. Yeah, maybe I'll do the negative first, and then just feel around for the positive. It's just both of them can't really go in there at the same time. Come on. Yeah, I can't see. Oh, it's not touching. Alright. Yeah. This is a bit difficult. There you go. Yep. So see how there's no negatives? So we got positive 12.3 volts in the right configuration. So we're all good. So it's definitely worth double checking your work. I don't know if the fridge has its own protection if you connect something up wrong. So yeah, we definitely don't want to go testing that out on day one. So I'll get my heat gun now. I just use one of these. I do have a proper heat gun, but not really necessary for what we're doing here. So put them both in the right spot, and I've said it heaps of times before, but this is the heat shrink with glue, which makes it a marine grade heat shrink, I think, because it has the hot glue on the inside. Really good stuff. I like it. That's pretty much all I'll ever use these days. And also it's a 4:1 shrink ratio, so you can buy less heat shrink. You don't need heat shrink for every like 3 or 4 millimeters. You can buy, I've only got like 3 different types of heat shrink. I think I've got an 8mm, a 20mm, and a 40mm or something like that, and pretty much they all, like the 8mm will cover so like even this tiny wire, even smaller wire than that, because 8 divided by 4, you know, it just does it. It's really good. So we're done. That's literally it. So now it's pretty much connect. Oh, one more bit of heat shrink. So yeah, I always double wrap like that. So you're going to see some red. That's okay. I could have taken that red off, but it doesn't matter. This just gives the joint extra protection. Some people say that you should stagger your joints as well. So when you cut the positive here, and then when you cut the negative there, so that way your two joints aren't butted up to each other. Yeah, you can. That's probably best practice. That will also avoid, you know, your nice thin bit and then a big bulky bit here, because both your joins are there. So you offset your joints. You can do whatever. I don't really care, so it doesn't matter. Okay, let's go on. It's probably not best to, I know it's going to work, it's probably not best to just go and turn the fridge on for 2 seconds. So I might just leave it, take my word for it that it works. It will work, because that's it. You're just providing power to that cable, 12 volt power, and that's it. So yeah, I think that's it. That's a nice short video. Really, I needed that. I wanted to try out the soldering iron. You can see there it's off and flashing. You can see the little red light flashing, so it's like, yeah, don't, even though I'm off, don't touch me, which is a good idea. But I think I did mention it doesn't have standby like some of the fancy ones do. So now if I wanted to, okay, that's been off for the amount of time that you've seen me. I'll get the same solder. Oh no, that's the little thin stuff. I don't like that. 1 mil's a good all-rounder. So I haven't turned it on yet, and you can see it's not melting. So we'll flick it back on. Okay, so it might, I can see some smoke now. There you go, boom. 10 seconds. It's fine. That's really cool. Be interesting to see how long the battery lasts. Yeah, but I mean, you're not ever soldering for hours on end anyway, and you're turning it on and off, so yeah, should be good. But yeah, so main thing is I definitely need that because my missus is leaving in 2 days, so she needs. We're going to have to run the esky in the fridge. Sorry, the fridge in the house to cool everything down before she actually chucks it in the car and goes on a little road trip. So so that was why I did need to do that. Then I wanted to try this out, and that worked really well. Secondly, if you noticed in my last video, it's got a CapCut symbol down the bottom, which I'm not too fond of. As good as CapCut is, since I've been using it, probably, I don't know, it's been over a year. It's been almost 2 years, I'd say. Good on your decks. You can do that in the edges, mate. Actually, that's another thing too. Change the subject real quick. This is I'm almost ready to make my grass cleaning video. It's been a year in the making. You can see I've got dishwashing liquid. I've got toilet stuff for chemical toilets. I've got what else is there? Baking soda. I've had vinegar. I've had the real stuff. This stuff. Odor away for fake grass. There's another 2 things under there. I've tried everything and I've come up with this stuff, and it's literally from Bunnings, costs $5 for a litre, and you don't even need a lot of it. So yeah, I've dialed it in. I'm missing one more ingredient which I need to get. I was actually at Bunnings yesterday and I forgot to get it. I didn't have it written on my list on my phone, so that's why I didn't get it. But I will write it there now. But anyway, that video is coming. It's been so long in the making because I've been trying different things, but also it's been winter, so it's been raining and diluting, and it hasn't really smelled. Like, even if I didn't do anything, it wouldn't really smell during winter anyway. So that's why I haven't really pushed it. But we have had probably about 2 months now that of almost no rain and hotter days, and that's when I've been testing what I've been doing. Plus last year, last summer, I did a lot of testing as well, but I didn't want to bring out a video with my solution, and it's because of the amount of rain we've had that it doesn't smell, not because of what I've done. So I wanted to make sure that it did work on the hotter days and lasted at least a week. That's my main thing, is I want to get at least a week out of it. This stuff is lasting more than a week, but I think if you keep on top of it, you actually use less and it won't smell ever, rather than leave it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, let the smell build up, and then you have to shock treat it again and go through a lot. You're better off just to use a little bit and just do it once a week. I do it every Monday morning, and that's it. And it's been the best it's ever been. He's 4 years old, so in 4 years this grass is the best it's ever been. That's kind of how long, maybe 2 years, I've been just trying different things, and yeah. So I'm onto it. So that'll be the next video. Yeah, so you might have noticed a little CapCut symbol down the bottom right. So CapCut, really good editing program, very simple, does a lot of things, does more than what I need. You could do a proper movie off all the effects and the things that it does. I use it for very basic things, so I can't justify paying for it, and it's a subscription. I'm not interested in subscriptions. If it was a couple $100 one off, I'd probably think about it, but it's not. It's like a couple $100 a year. And when I first started using it, almost every feature was free on it. I'm pretty sure every feature was free on it. So yeah, it was good, and I didn't use every feature. So yeah, worked out really well. And then every time you do an update now, it seems to be everything it's got this little pro symbol, and almost all the transitions you can't use anymore. You can just do the basic stuff with it, and that's fine because that's all I've used it for, and it's been fine. But the other day I did 2 videos in one day. The first video exported, no worries. The second video wouldn't export. I couldn't figure out what it was. And then what it was is it wants you to have on the export screen, it wants you to put the CapCut logo in any of the 4 corners, and that's the only way it would let you do it. So it must have updated between the 2 videos, and that's, or unless you can only do 1 video a day, I'm not sure. So I was looking at some other. Everyone keeps saying DaVinci Resolve. I've tried it. I hate it. It's way too complicated for me. And I can't be bothered learning how to use it. It's just, yeah, it's just not necessary to have. For me, it's not necessary to have that complicated program. So anyway, I found a website that has all the CapCut previous versions stored on it. So I think they're up to CapCut version 5 point something with all this paywall, firewall stuff, or paywall, whatever you want to call it. And I actually found version 1.5. They reckon that's the best version. It has everything before all this paywall started coming in. The only thing is you cannot update it. It asks you every time you open the program, do you want to update it? And I'll say no. So until it forces an update, I'll just be using this older version just to not have that symbol down the bottom, the CapCut symbol. Until they force me, and if they force me, I'm still not going to pay for it because I can do everything I need to do in the free version that they give you. I'm not interested in transitions and all that fancy stuff. The most I do is put text in, and you know that and those little symbols that you see me put in every now and again. And a lot of you can't even use the arrows now. The arrows are all behind the. You got to pay to use the arrows. So yeah, whatever. I'll find something. If anyone knows anything that's really simple and on par with CapCut, but it's totally free, let me know. But yeah, if they make me update and then have to have a CapCut symbol down there, so be it. But I'd rather not have it there. But that's what I use. I don't mind telling people what I use. But I just don't want a symbol on the videos. I reckon it looks a bit tacky. But anyway, all good. So that's why I wanted to do this video, because I want to try this older version. Sounds funny, you want to go back to an older version, but anyway, yeah, I want to try this older version, make sure it's all working well, and we'll go from there. But anyway, we might jump in the car later as well. I'll probably video that, might go for a drive. I have no clue where to go for a drive though. I've done Swan Valley heaps, I've been north heaps. South's a bit hard to get to because you got to cross the city. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to get down there, especially during the week. So yeah, I don't know, might just go for a drive, but anyway, see what happens. But thanks for watching. That's how you solder. My way of soldering, it's not the correct way probably, but yeah, that's how I do it. I've been doing it like that for like 30 years, and I've never had a solder joint come apart, touch wood. So yeah, all good. Anyways, cheers for watching, catch you next time.